Canceling out my job, part 6, and the final part, I think I could say. So today is my last day at my current employer. As of this recording, when this airs, significant time probably would have gone by. I have a queue of videos backlogged to upload, so we'll get there. But it is 2:40 in the afternoon on my last day of after serving 8+ years in my current employer. Clearly, I'm not in the office. I think part 5 took place from my actual office desk chair, and I uploaded somewhere in there a little walkthrough, a silent walkthrough tour. I think that has been uploaded since. So since the last part as well, my coworkers had taken me out, not taken me out, but invited me over to one of their homes. Just about everybody from the office was there, maybe except for 2 or 3 people because they had other obligations. But it was great because it was an afternoon that was 80 something degrees. So it was after work, some cornhole, some pizzas, some just kind of hanging out in good company. And from the time work ended, actually we went over there before work ended, which was kind of neat, like around 4:30. We left the office early, and I think by 8 o'clock we were done, which is my speed, because I go to bed at 8 o'clock, so that worked really well. And I was grateful for that, and I think I talked about that in the last part. But really, at the end of, so I was there for about a week and a half, call it 2 weeks or so, about that. But when I got into the second week, while I was in the Midwest at my job, really things started to slow down. Finally, I had given a 2-month notice, and that's where I started part 1 of this video series. I'd given a 2-month notice because of my role. I thought it was appropriate. Hindsight, maybe a month and a half, and I would have taken the 2 weeks for myself. But I'm gonna run full steam into it. Tomorrow I head out, I guess you could say, to the Midwest, like the North Midwest, to my new office. I won't be there as frequently as I was at my previous job. I should really say current job, because today technically I'm still employed there, and to the point where I don't think I'll even have my own office within. I'll have a plate, like a little sitting area or a little work area, but I won't have like a legit executive office. I'm just not going to be there that often. There's a guy there who will essentially run, as a general manager, run the office, which will be good. And then I will continue to work from home and then travel to customer sites as need be. I think my first little trip will be down to Texas in May, something like that. So I'm sure I'll talk about that when the time comes, but for now, and this video may as well air in May at that point. So at this point, really today is a Monday, which is, again, it's weird how it felt, because I said I'd work 2 months, and the Monday is the last day of the month. And so I am here. It's kind of like, now that the dust is settled, it is very, very quiet. Everyone said their goodbyes last week. I got one phone call this morning, text message, but really everyone, gave me the hugs and the high fives and the handshakes last week, and that's it, because they just assumed I wasn't working today. I've been available. I've conversed with some people, cleared out the inbox, which there was only a couple items there. But it's weird. It's really talking about, just kind of fading off into the sunset. I've worked at other jobs where, like, after work on the last day of employment, everyone takes you out and you have fun and all that. That's cool. When I was younger, that was cool. But this is kind of my speed. But the other part of it too is I would have to physically be there, and it just wasn't practical. Ironically, this week they have a lot of big wigs in from Europe, so I would rather be in my hoodie on my couch than all dressed up and in a conference room presenting on some obscure topic. So that worked out well. But how I'm feeling, It's weird. I think the people around me are surprised I'm not taking it harder. I'm going to miss the people, and I'm going to miss the area because after 8+ years, when you know, food shop someplace, you sleep somewhere, at your apartment, you do like your chores, whether it's going out to eat or washing your car, or whatever, just picking up stuff at the store. It's like your routine. You have a routine when you're there, and I'm very routine oriented, and for that to like change and go away, it's weird. And then the final kind of clean out of my apartment, that kind of like when I kind of was getting ready to shut the door for the last time, that I got overwhelmed a little bit with emotion there. And I did do a walkthrough video tour just for my own sake, as well as I'll upload it. I haven't uploaded that yet, so we'll get that up there. Everything's already taken out. It was a furnished, low budget place to rent, but it served a purpose, I should say, for a number of years. So I wasn't bringing a giant suitcase if I was going to be there for a week or 2 weeks. That was a headache, and then trying to find laundry in a hotel and all that. I have a little bit of that going on for my next job, because my initial kind of stint there will be 2 back-to-back weeks. I'll come home in between, but it reminds me of the olden days, packing a big suitcase. But I really don't have any desire to be there on a weekend. Maybe at some point, but I've kind of been there, done that, and I just want to be home and be with my family where I can. So my emotions, I'm just kind of I'm ready. I feel like I graduated. That's kind of what I keep telling people. I feel like not saying I'm better than the people I worked with or anything, but I just feel like I personally, for my own development, I feel like I need to move on. It's time for me to do the next thing. And it's kind of like when you move from high school to college or whatever the case may be, it's time. You have fond, special memories, things you've accomplished professionally, challenges that you learned from, mistakes you've learned from, and now it's time to go apply that stuff somewhere else. And I think about day one, which will be tomorrow, versus day one at my current employer that I'm about to leave, night and day. Both are executive roles, but when I came to my current employer, it was the first time being an executive. So I was thinking, I probably have to carry myself differently, not for anything, but you want to act like you've been there before, like you've earned your position, not like, this guy's a lot of growing to do professionally before he grows into this role. But I did have some of that, and I did kind of trial by fire with what I walked into at the time. But I've definitely grown. So going into this new role, I tend personally to do a lot of self-reflecting, and I try to draw from things in my past and where I was personally in my life at that time, and professionally, night and day. And professionally, talk about that. Professionally, way more confident. I was unsure of myself then. I was really quick to make sure that the work I was doing would, like, people liked it, and I was making them happy with the work I was doing. And that's kind of how I got confident, right? And not fake it till you make it, because I knew what I was doing, what I wanted to do, but sometimes that's not what the expectation is, right? So I got to this point, and I didn't really need someone to handhold me walking into the door. Like, I just said, hey, what days do you want me to be in the office? Went out on my own, booked everything. Where I think my current job, I think, like, it was like, okay, now stay at this hotel, do this, do that. It was just like I just did it all on my own. And the other part is I really studied up on this company I'm about to start, and I knew of them prior to the interview process, but really from the interview process learned kind of what's going on internally and developed a plan, studied their products, just to really bone up on that. And I know there's still probably going to be tons to learn, but I know what questions to ask. I know where to focus my study efforts on, just different things. And I know how to assimilate myself in as an executive. For example, when I interviewed there, one of the groups of people I sat with, there was a woman who does the marketing, and that will report to me. And I was fully there, I sat at the table waiting for questions. She was extremely nervous because what she realized very quickly is I'm likely her new boss. And she got nervous, and it was me asking her questions. And I ask a lot of questions. It's how I understand things and learn, right? And be a part of the team. So I remember asking her questions, and I saw ultimately by my tone and what I was asking calmed her down. So I think when you come in at this level, executive level, there's a lot of nerves from people because they don't know what they're going to be asked to do, or if you're even going to like them, right? So I try to, once I felt very positive that I was going to get the job, when I was meeting with kind of, not the decision makers on my role, but kind of the people who would be reporting up to me, I really wanted them to get to know me from the standpoint of like, hey, we're going to be working together. You're not going to be working for me. We're going to be working as a team. We're going to be working together, kind of thing. I'm not going to be a dictator. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to having autonomy with this role that I didn't have in my current role, just because of we were a subsidiary owned by a parent company in Europe, which then got owned by a much larger company, or got bought by a much larger company about 3 years ago. So tons and tons of red tape, and like you gotta ask permission to blow your nose. Where this is not like that. This is, hey, we're doing things by the seat of our pants. We got to figure out a way to grow, and we got to figure out a way to build processes and develop our people so we have an infrastructure and a foundation for future growth. That's the name of my game, and so that's what really excited me about this opportunity. So this was supposed to be talking more about canceling out my job, but I ended up blabbing a lot about my new job, and that starts tomorrow. But really, I'm grateful, and I've had experiences where I left jobs before, and you've had best intentions to stay in touch and stay friendly, and for different circumstances, that hasn't happened. Some of them totally out of my control and totally insane. But in this case, when I left, I said, hey, this is not goodbye. This is, I'll see you again at some point in some place. And, and a few people are like, yeah, right, you're never coming back here. It's not like I'm going there once a month any longer, but if I show up once a year or so and think of a reason to go, like I'm a runner, and there's races several times throughout the years. So maybe I'll sign up for a race, and as an excuse to kind of go for like a weekend or a long weekend and leave. But I'm also a person who doesn't, I learned the further you go up the chain of command, it's difficult to really become close friends with people in the organization, at least for me. I very much am a private person in my professional life. There are a few people who, we'll talk sports, and we'll talk, like about house projects and things like that. But so I don't have like this big group of friends that I'm like, like let's do this, do that together, let's run a race together. Likely I would use the race as an excuse to go. I'd run a race by myself and then go hang out with whomever after, or something like dinner or barbecue, whatever. So that's kind of my plan there, to head back and try to keep those people. Also, they have an event in Boston. It's an annual event that they put on. It's not in Boston every year, but this year it's going to be in Boston, which will be June. So some people from Europe who I worked closely with, and others just from the US, will be there. So those who follow the channel, Boston's like right here. Well, this is not Boston. It's like an hour away with zero traffic. Most days it's 2.5, 3 hours away. But there's an opportunity to meet up with people for dinner, which we've already talked about. And then because it's, I'm leaving this industry and pivoting to a different kind of area of something, I wouldn't say it's parallel, but not to get too really specific. So my point being is I'm not going to be competing against anybody or whatnot. So what I did offer is to offer up a spot on a panel, if they need someone from the industry, their industry, to talk about the solutions, or talk about whatever is going on in the industry. I'm happy to sit on the panel because it also keeps me, not only does it keep it connected to my former colleagues, but it keeps me connected to that industry. So should I go back, because I have a huge network, down the line or something comes up, I'm still connected. All right, well, when I turned on the camera, I really didn't know what I was going to say in this one, but I thought I'd wrap up this series because it's been going on for 2 months, and I think this video is kind of going the way how I feel right now. It's not like I'm like sitting here overwhelmed with emotion. I think likely what's going to happen is at some point when I get off the roller coaster in a couple months, maybe this summer or whatever, spring, summer, I'm sitting on the beach here or just doing something to relax, it will all hit me. That tends to be what happens. I just focus on getting through, doing what I need to do, and sometimes I get emotional in the moment, but when I tend to, again, be someone who does a lot of self-reflecting, so I'll likely be reflecting on what has occurred during this stretch and be thinking, whew, how did I do that? Because on a kind of a more personal note, not only am I switching jobs, buying a house, and so winding down a job, starting a new job, buying a house, and there's probably like a couple other things, at least one other big thing on that list as well. So it's a ton at once, and you just get through it day by day. All right, well, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you for watching. I know a few of you guys out there comment on these types of videos that I do. It's kind of why I keep doing them, but more recently we've kind of gone back to what we do best and have fun with is fan projects, lawnmower projects, anything vintage type project. So stay tuned. There's a ton of that going on right now because it's a time of year, and with the new house coming, there's going to be endless reasons to turn the camera on, I'm sure, because I'll need your guys' help. So thanks for watching, and I did see a couple comments on previous videos congratulating me on my new job. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't do YouTube to make money, and however, it would be really, really cool if I could just make videos and be an influencer all day and talk about fans and, again, lawnmowers and whatever else that you want me to talk about. That would be super, super duper cool. But until we get there, if we ever get there, it's not the point of the channel, but if we ever get there, till then, got to keep the day job, got to keep working hard and being smart. So thanks again, and thanks for all your support. It's always appreciated. And so let's get back to what we do best on this channel, and fix things, take things apart, repair them, figure it out, and learn something along the way. So if you haven't, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Like and comment. We'll see you next time.